All right, welcome back, Pokemon Go players, to another episode of the Purified podcast. Today is December 8th, 2024. I am your host, Luis Palacios, with my co-host, Chris.
Yo, 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 it's your boy, Pokemon Trigger, please. I can't hit that number 3 every single podcast. Yeah, it's been a good week, man.
Oh, man, I'm glad. It's been an interesting week for sure. Lots to talk about today, and definitely some interesting stories to tell. Just as always, we're here to once again talk about Pokemon Go news, updates, and ranting about the game because we love the game just as much as everybody else. Since I can't talk today, but I'll continue on, this episode of the Purified podcast is brought to you by our Patreon. Everything we do here on the Pokemon Professor Network is powered by our community. You can join our community of supporters on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. We offer a range of support tiers and various benefits. All patrons will gain access to our Patreon-exclusive Discord, which is a fantastic place filled with fantastic people. So just make sure you check us out at the PokemonFriendster.com/Purified Podcast or any on the network, and check out all the other podcasts out there from ranges from Lurab to Good Morning Johto to any of the other podcasts on the network. Make sure you check them out. All right, well, how's everything this week been, brother?
It's been pretty laid back and chill. I've been letting the Go Plus do its thing. I wish I could have been hitting more raids. I didn't even do a Sinistea raid.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. We tried stopping places for it, but the only ones that were like at a good time for me and my friend were like in a gated residence. Oh. So I was like, yeah, I can't really hit that right now.
Yeah, not even with a remote or something. You couldn't even do anything.
I could have bought a remote. Let me put it this way: I didn't want to buy a remote for a teacup.
Yeah, well, I mean, you do also have the kind of like the special box in the web store for like $5 or something, and then you could have just kind of like 3 remotes or something, plus other goodies. But
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of like BOGO in a way because once you got the teacup, you get another one for free.
Yeah, something like that. So it's not too bad. Yeah. It's not bad, though, but it wasn't... Okay, so since we're already on the topic, plus I'm hatching 10kx, so hopefully something cool. It's just a Yamo. I had so many of this guy, and I can't even get a Hondo. But yeah, so let's get into the nitty-gritty of the last event and the last few weeks of events. Before we get into our haul, so this mostly the just my cup of tea, just like he has mentioned. I did get a few Sinesteas, nothing too grand. Of course, I finished the collection challenge, even though I hated it to evolve it, even though I had like a really bad one, or semi-okay 3-star, I guess I should say. But then, I was like, there's nothing really in this event that really catches my eye, since, as you mentioned, having Sinistea in raids really didn't prompt it to wanted to do as many as possible, even though it was a really easy raid to do if you can find one. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we were all just like, it is what it is when it came down to it. We didn't really care if it was there or not. We did have some, good dinners and everything as a Pogo family, but but yeah, aside from that, we did have one cool event, and I'm sure you didn't have too much about it, right, Chris? Because you did tell me. And that is Gigantamax Lapras raid, or I'm sorry, Max Battle Day. I shouldn't just say it raid, because, I mean, I know we're technically raiding it, but it's more like we're battling it as a group. I don't know what's the good definition for that,
I mean, as long as you put Gigantamax or Dynamax in there, people know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, it is how it is. We had some fun times, or at least I'd had some fun times. So before I actually tell you what I got, because I know a lot of people follow my Twitter on that, what you got this week?
It's been kind of lackluster. I got a little theme going though. A lot of yellow.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I don't remember. Just in case, not that it really matters, but just in case I didn't talk about them last week. I had 3 interesting babies in a row. Hundo Pichu, and then a shiny Togepi and Cleffa from eggs. And then this is for sure new. I started with a shiny Execute. I swear they're like boosted for me because I keep getting shiny Execute, man. I got a shiny Lillipup, another Hundo Morpeko, so this is my second one.
Oh, that's cool.
And Sableye Spotlight Hour gave me a shiny Sableye. Which, yeah, I completely forgot that Sableye was one of the boosted Stardust Pokemon.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, oh, man, like, because I didn't realize till halfway through. I was like, man, I really should have been running a Star Piece. But, yeah, I was really glad I got to partake in that a little bit. But tell me about your awesome haul, because, oh, my gosh, he was teasing it.
Oh, my goodness. I finally broke my curse of no Hondas for the last few weeks, so that's pretty nice. I broke it with one of the best perfects I could get out of that. Starting off with a Hondo Gigantamax Lapras on the very first raid, brother.
What? The first raid too?
Yep. And we were like, yeah, we're just trying to figure out. It's like, yeah, what's the CP? What's like the Hondo numbers and everything? It's like 1509. Oh, and we're still like in the mid battle on it, and we're trying to figure out things like that. And you know, all of a sudden I look at my CP. I was like, oh, first I'm thinking, it's shiny? Nah, it's not shiny. But then look at CP. I'm like, didn't we just talk about this number? The unfortunate part about this one, though, and I said unfortunate because I actually had to use one of my best resources for this. So I didn't. So I'm not the one to buy the extra coins for anything, or the extra. Premier balls or whatever it is that is in there to maximize my odds on catching all of this. Mostly because I think that is not really worth it. Although this time around it was worth it because all the experience, the Stardust, and all the benefits from it was actually really good boosted. It was like a lot of people were getting like millions of Stardust just by completing this raid, so with a star piece and everything. So a lot of people just like try to double up those rewards. However, I didn't because I don't need any of that. So I only had like 9 balls to catch it, and keep throwing balls. I keep hitting outside of the circles, so I don't get the excellent sun sometimes. So I get down to my last ball. To be told, I don't want to lose this kind of beautiful Hondo, mostly because for one, it's a Gigantamax. 2, it's my very first Hondo Lapras in 8.5 years. And 3, and now we're gonna get another chance like this again, unless I get really lucky in the next few raids, and I'm gonna just crab out my Master Ball, which I didn't, luckily. So I did use my Master Ball on this. It was cool to see the animation of the Master Ball in a Gigantamax form, or into the Power Up Ball and everything. The whole animation, everything is the same, but of course you're trying to catch a Gigantamax Pokemon at a time. But it was a little bit hilarious that was the only reason why I had to use my Master Ball on this. And that's the reason why we have it. I mean, yes, would have been better to actually try to look for a Galarian Bird in Master Ball if I needed to. Yes, I'm surprised that I haven't gotten a Zapdos at this point and actually got it in the Master Ball. Maybe that was a luck in a draw any of them. But that's the reason why we have it. If we don't get the chance that you really want this Pokemon, why not Master Ball it,
Yeah, in my opinion, there's definitely worse Pokemon to Master Ball than a perfect Gigantamax.
Yeah.
So, yeah, by all means, do not feel bad about using Master Ball on that. Oh, my gosh.
It would have been amazing if I was the next person in the group to get a Shundo out of the last 3 Gigantamax that we actually did.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Did anyone get a Shundo in your group today?
Not this time around. I was kind of surprised because usually we get something. Although we kind of split into 2 groups after the first 2 or 2 or 3.
So maybe somebody in
the other group. Yeah. Which I actually tried to scour like Campfire and Discord, but nobody really mentioned anything. So I'm guessing they just keeping it to themselves. And if it didn't, they didn't. But that's actually pretty cool. In the end of the day, at least we did see 1 Hondo, and I'm showing it right here, right now for you guys.
That's true.
So that's not too bad when it comes down to it. I also hatched a Hondo Blitzel from a 5-kilometer egg because why not, right?
Yeah, I hatched 2 of those back to back. I was like, wait, what? I forgot it was in the 5K.
Yeah, I know, right? As for shinies, let's see how things have gone. We almost forgot that we also had Aspiring Dragons research day, which the only reason why we really didn't most forgot is because I don't think neither of us did it. So, but I did get 3 of the shinies from the Aspiring Dragons just because I was doing drive-by Pokestops catches.
Oh, that was what day?
That was Saturday.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, you completely forgot, didn't you? Right?
Yes.
I told you it was a forgettable event that nobody wanted to play. So
Okay. It was it was shinies we already had pretty much, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Squirrel,
Yeah.
Trapinch, and Swablu, and then I think Horsey was the feature ones from research.
Yeah, I think I heard like some people saying they'd want to get like the Shundo Swablu, but yeah, it wasn't really one people were like freaking out about, you know.
And I was actually listening to another podcast, the Coke GoCast, and they were actually doing their Megapod this time around. And they told me, it's like they kind of told like the community, but like, yes, you can look for them. Yes, they're there, but there's really not much of a target because there's 4 Pokemons in the pool. Any of the research that you do would have actually just cycled through the pool. So if you got the Shando, cool, but would have been the Swablu that you're looking for, because there's no,
Or
each one of them would have been just the same. It could have been
or
any
a
of them.
Trapinch, yeah.
Yeah. Although if you get a Shando Trapinch and we get like the Mega Evolution with CA, that would have been a thing.
You never know.
You never
You
know.
never know.
Never know. Either way, I only got 3 shinies from the Aspirant event, and then 2 Gigantamax shiny Lapras. One of them being a 96. So I'm actually very happy about those. And to be told, I think I was like the only one that was getting shinies in that group.
Oh my god.
Well, I know that a few other ones got like maybe another 1 or 2 in between, but the ones that were like really grinding barely got their 1 or 2. So odds were a little mixed in this point. I don't know if they were still the 1 in 10, just because I wasn't here shinies like across the hall every time it happened. So it was one of those like RNG things, or maybe it was a little higher or lower odds on getting the shiny in the end of the day.
So I'm only asking because I didn't get a chance to do any Gigantamax raids. How hard would you say the Lapras was, and are the max mushrooms a thing right now?
Yes.
They
So
are. Okay.
you are able to use a max mushroom for free for 5 minutes, and then any other one that you buy consistently will be a 30-minute timer. Just because they wanted you to try it out. And I tried it out on the first one. We had a full lobby of 40. We even had to re-lobby on a second group because they couldn't take it down the first time around. So it wasn't like incredibly hard, but you did have to be careful with some of the moves that it has. The counters for Lapras were the grass, steel, fighting. I'm missing something, but I can't remember right now. Electric, there you go. So, you had your Toxtricities, you have your Venusaurs, you have Metagross, you have your Machamps, which are now in raids because of things. So, we had counters, but you really sometimes don't even want to power up the right counter because you already have something from before. So if you had a grass type, you really didn't need to power up a electric type or a fighting type. So
yeah, so people are using Venusaur and getting Ice Beam.
Yeah, no, well, Blizzard actually.
Blizzard, oh no.
Yeah, but I had a good strategy throughout most of the battles. I started with my Metagross, then switch over to Venusaur to just Gigantamax. Make sure that Metagross just tanks on most of the moves. It did have a moveset of Surf, Blizzard, and Dragon Pulse, actually. So
really?
Yeah, so it really did. Like I said, if you actually had 2 of the 3 that really didn't pan out, it was an easy fix, and nobody really cared about having as many as possible. We did have most lobbies about 20, and then some of them like up to 40 when it came down to it, which was good because that means that we actually did every single one. Now, the best part about it was, of course, the $5 ticket that you can buy in the store, and actually it's able to expand on the amount of particles that you collect, which is up to 5,600. And I actually collected every single one of them.
I really do think that is one of the best add-ons for this, just because of how hard it is to get the max particles to do the raids in particular.
So each Lapras was cycling every 30 minutes. So it was a shorter timer, and of course you had more chances to do them. There was one small issue. That the max particles that you collect from the stops, from the power stops, were not resetting every half an hour.
Yeah, it's just once a day for that spot, right?
Correct. So
that's one thing I don't agree with. Yeah.
Although they gave you more than enough to be able to actually do another one, you had to go to another location just to collect the particles. and then be able to go ahead and be able to do another race or another battle in between. And then one thing I know that they communicated on the blog post, but it was a little hard to understand, is that you had your 2 kilometers to walk.
Yes.
However, during the event, if you bought the ticket, it was only 0.5 that you needed to walk.
Okay, that's not as bad, I suppose.
It's not if you haven't walked the 2 kilometers beforehand, though, because it doesn't reset until the first 2 kilometers done. So,
yeah, that's kind of rough.
Yeah, so you had two choices when it comes down to this. Either you make sure you're at your 2 kilometers before the event starts and don't claim it until after the next battle, or claim it, have to walk the 2, and then miss out on the other walking because you had to walk the 2 kilometers for the 5 or the point before the 0.5 happened. So some ups and downs. I think with the amount of max particles that I got for free, I was able to do about 10 of them, which was a really good chunk of them. I did buy a max particle pack and a couple extra coins that I had already sitting down. So I was able to do, I believe, 17 of them. Let me actually check. I forgot about that. La Press and H0. Yeah, so I did about 15 of them today. About 10 of them were free. The other 5 were with anything that I was able to buy. And I kind of said that after the second to last one for me, I was just like, I was done. I didn't want to stay around to do anymore because I think I was good after the Hondo and the 2 Chinese.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were already kicking me out because I was just getting the Chinese before them. No, I love my community. But yeah, I mean, it was like, 4:30 by the time I said it's like, okay, I'm done, really. I don't really need to do another one. I could have done another one, but I was just like, at this point, it's really not worth it. Those 15 will be sitting in my account for any trades that anybody needs at this point, Chris included. But yeah, that's how it went. Again, big group of people. I'm glad that the community is banding together to do them, knowing that because of Campfire and an organizer of our community, we can get people into one place, and then even if we have to split, we know that we can get it done. So it's nice in between in the end of the day. Any last thoughts before we move on, Chris?
Not really. Awesome Gigantamax Pokemon. Honestly, yeah, I don't think they really did anything bad in particular. The only thing I wish is for an event like this that we could pick up the particles every rotation of Lapras from the power spots. But I understand why they don't do it, just because, in the main series game, it's the exact same way.
Yeah. So it's cool that you are actually, they're kind of following that lore that we have and able to do the kind of thing. You actually have to go there, get the particles, and be able to do the raid and all that. It's just one of the inconvenient stuff when it comes to it. Let us expand the actual ability to collect them to the certain point during the time and then lower it back again afterwards. That would have been a lot better than having to sit and wait for the particles to be collected after every single raid. So that way we can do another one afterwards. So it's just a catalysm in the end of the day. But either way, I believe that this was probably what was intended, and I am glad to have been part of that. Now, was it the greatest event in the world? I mean, it's just like any other event when we do have raid days and things like that. It's kind of like a come and go in that sense. So, it was a really good event in my opinion. So 3 events right off the bat on the first week. God damn.
yeah, they're starting it off pretty. Well, they're trying, I guess. I'd say 2 out of the 3 events were fine, but yeah, Lapras is definitely the eye catcher there, I feel like.
And it seems, unless haven't read most of the other news anyways, it seems that they want to at least do something like this once per season or once per month. We have a Gigantamax battle to actually go through. The only problem that I see it with is that they're gonna run out pretty quickly of Gigantamax Pokemons.
I mean, they can go back and do the same one anyways, though. I don't think people will complain too much of that.
I don't think so, but let's say if they decide to do Lapras again for another Gigantamax battle, I would not be too much in keen.
You will not be partaking. Just the free.
Yeah, just probably the free, just to be out there for the community and help them out if they had a lot of people that couldn't do it. But again, it's how they're going to cycle them to allow us to do it, because we haven't seen any of them return as of today yet. I know we don't have a lot, but between the starters, Toxtricity, and Lapras and Gengar, when they're going to think about actually cycling through them if they don't want to pace themselves out too quickly, you know?
Yeah, I think the starters are a must for sure, just because they had all three going at the same time.
I mean, we still have the Paldea ones to go through.
The what?
The Paldea.
Paldea?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So, just some speculation, but I definitely feel like they'll probably do those even before they release all the newer ones, like the ones we haven't even seen yet.
Right.
Yeah,
it's a food for thought for the next few seasons from here on out, and how it's gonna really pan out. Now that I think about it, when we went over the dates, I don't think there was a mention of another raid max battle day or something like that, unless I'm too wrong.
I don't think so for this season, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. While you look that up, please and thank you. We'll go ahead and move on to the next piece of information, which is our news of topics of the day, research topics of the day. We got a very first, or not, what am I saying? Very first, no, there's the next event coming up, which is a nice little in-between black and white. You gotta love it. Celebrate all during the Young and Wise event in Pokemon Go. This is a brand new event happening starting on Tuesday, December 10 at 10 a.m. to Saturday, December 14 at 8 p.m. local time. The bonuses for this event will be 2 times experience for hatching and 2 times experience for winning raids. I feel like they've been focusing on that for the last few weeks. It's kind of been insane.
Yeah. Just a heads up. I took a look again at the December news, and I didn't see anything about another Gigantamax. So at least for December, we won't be seeing another one.
But when you see the news in the same blog post, do you see anything in past the months of December? Anything that we should be looking into? I'm kind of having an idea also what's going on between the 2 months, but still. But anyways, while you look that up, raids for this event will have 1-star raids: Shinx, Scraggy, Tyron, Phantom, and Yamo. That's not bad when it comes to the Yamo, because we want to get the Shando. We got 3-star raids: Alakazam, sorry, Oranguru, Drampa, and Weirdeer. 5-star raids will still have Genesect Shield Drive until December 12th, so it is kind of like moving away afterwards. Mega Mele will be here until the 12th, and Mega Latios will be actually joining the pool, replacing our 5-star raid and also our Mega Raid for the remaining of this event from December 12th at 10 a.m. local time. So just to make sure that a lot of people don't understand this, after December 12th starts, Latios and Latias technically will be popular in both eggs in the meantime. So instead of having one for megas and one for 5-star raids, it will be technically one mega legendary Pokemon at one time. So it's basically just combine them for the next few times, or days, I should say. For eggs, the following Pokemon will be hatching for 2-kilometer eggs, and I'm sure a lot of people are happy about a few things: Togepi, Tyrone, Smoochum, Bonsley, Happiny, Munchlax.
Need me a Munchlax,
bro. Yay. Finally we got an event where we can see actually Munchlax in this thing. We still have the regular incubators, so I have a lot of regular incubators actually, now that I think about it.
Honestly, I'll be happy with anything other than Bonsley and Togepi.
Yeah, I don't want to hatch any more shiny Tyrums either, or Smoochums. I've been hatching like a nursery the last few, like a year ago or something. Field research tasks. We have event tasks for field researches, of course, available throughout the event. Collection challenges that rewards you, of course, experience and encounters with event team Pokemons. And Pokemon showcases. Be on the lookout for showcases with different Pokestops if you enter team Pokemon. And that's pretty much it on this event. Really, it's either or. I know that other people are still looking for a few shinies like Trampa or things like that. Munchlax is an egg. that other people were looking for sure. Chris and I are definitely looking for that. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think about this event? Like evolving, hatching, and raiding. I know it's two different categories in the game that really don't see each other a lot. So, what are your thoughts?
It's definitely funny. I mean, I like to do a little bit of everything. 3-star raids are definitely a sweet spot because you can do them on your own. But you can usually get somebody to want to get invited into it because they're still hunting that shiny.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was doing a ton of Drampa before trying to get those. But yeah, I think it's just a little fun event, not necessarily anything crazy. But you get that chance to get a nice little shiny before Christmas.
Yeah. I mean, they're giving us just a little bit more of a chance to allow those things, so it's not too bad.
Yeah.
But target what you can. Really, you don't have to spend a fortune on just eggs and raids.
No.
A lot of these Pokemons will eventually come back. It's
Yeah,
just
save it for Christmas.
I know, right? But most than anything, some of those Pokemons, even though as rares they are like the Munchlax, I'm sure they'll have this day. So just let them be. I mean, Snorlax itself is always having a day, anyways. So, but yeah, not too bad of an event. Chris, how about the next little piece of news here?
Yeah, they're gonna be doing a little bit something new with Pokemon Go. I mean, what aren't they? But they're live testing a new Pokemon Go web store program. Very interesting. I first time hearing about this. So they say trainers, we continually strive to improve the Pokemon Go experience. As such, before we launch significant changes globally, we want to ensure they're beneficial to the Pokemon Go community and make a strong positive impact on each individual trainer's gameplay experience. So starting December 2024, we'll be live testing a new reward program on the Pokemon Go web store for trainers in Australia and New Zealand. So at least they get something good coming out of being over in Australia and New Zealand this time.
More than anything, I'm actually surprised about that's transparency.
Yeah. Heads up for once. Yeah. Trainers in these regions may notice the following: Reward Road, a feature coming to the Pokemon Go web store that offers reward points for making eligible purchases in the in-game shop in the Pokemon Go web store. Definitely sounds awesome. I wish it happened since day one because I would be a quadrillionaire in Pokemon Go.
I know the amount of money that we already tested on this game. So,
oh my gosh.
So, anything more? No. Okay, so it just says
No, just something to get excited about. What our mouth a little bit.
So a few things to point out. First and foremost, they did have a help center for this kind of thing, and it's basically what it's telling us to do. Which they mentioned is a program will allow you to earn in-game rewards and bonuses by making purchases in Pokemon Go, mostly in the web store, which is actually how it earns. How to earn the points? Eligible purchases make you earn points throughout a set of rewards. As you earn reward points, you can unlock them. On the reward road, each level of reward requires a specific number of points to unlock. And then, you can claim them through the web store and things like that. So it's basically like a mini battle pass, but for purchases. Just because there's no other way to really advance the road. It's more like if you purchase something, you want to go to the web store, so that way you are able to win more to it. Now, if you actually don't know, this sounds very familiar to another web store that I know it's on a game that a lot of people play, and it's the Clash of Clans games or any of the other Supercell games at that point. And I'm going to point it out right here for you guys. So in the Supercell store, when you go to Clash of Clans, which I actually play this more often than ever now, when you log in and start purchasing things, you do get a streak to bonuses in the web store. The more you purchase, the more in-game rewards you get. Mostly premium items like their gems, which is like their coins of the game, when you purchase it with in-game currency, or I'm sorry, with real life currency. But then the whole reward itself, you just complete more and more and more. Through every season, every 30 days they have. Actually, every season for them is 30 days. it resets. So you can always buy more eventually, and you'll be able to gain more and more points and more in-game rewards. It's really beneficial, actually. Not that I spend a fortune on Clash of Clans, because I'm only trying to do what's possible in that game. But I do give you items in the game that basically enhance the experience or make it a little easier to do things. Because Clash of Clans is a game where you actually have to grind, but at the same time be idle for a while, because you're upgrading things for many, many, many days. So, but that's my comparison. And actually, now that I think about it, I've completely forgot how I posted about that the other day. So let me see if I can find it. So thank you also, David, for this. That meme where it says corporate needs to find the differences between this picture and this picture, and I put both the reward for Roman and the bonus track for Clash of Clans. It's the same picture. It's basically the same. Now, since I'm not in New Zealand, I'm not sure where or how the rewards are. I'm sure that a lot of people are already talking about it just because they have the ability to be there. So anybody in New Zealand, if they can give us a little pointers on how the reward works, send us a couple of screenshots so we can share it for you guys. But that's pretty much it. That's really there's not much to it. Now, well, I hope that the rewards are actually very beneficial for the player, like getting extra coins for making more purchases here and there. Maybe a raid pass here in between. Remote raid pass with anything, that'll be amazing. But the amount of how many rewards really will give us versus the amount of money that you're spending in the game, is it going to be worth it? That's the biggest question. Is it going to actually impact your gameplay if you are actually getting to that point? We have yet to see. Any thoughts on this, Chris?
Yeah. So they were already doing a little bit of a battle pass thing, right? Where you could pay and it would give you like an extra incubator a day or a raid pass like for like a certain amount of time, right?
Yeah, but those kind of things were mostly through the actual in-game stuff, it's like...
Yeah. So it's very interesting to me to see them like rewarding you separately based on just purchases in general.
Yeah.
So I definitely think it's going to be beneficial no matter what to do. So I'm not like I'm not against it anyway. I mean, it's just something free extra,
Yeah, no, I understand. It's just how they're gonna pan out the rewards. It's like, is it gonna be really worth it, or is it just not going to really pan out? I know it's just in the testing periods. Some things like this do require a little bit of insight and feedback, so hopefully we'll get enough insight and feedback from the community to know if it's worth it enough to mostly do your purchases in the web store, knowing that that's the case. Also, real quick, just to mention, Supercell has a creator program for that, so it helps out the creator that promotes those kind of things. So if you guys Niantic can do the same and just put our code in there, that'd be nice. But yeah, it just, if it helps the people who actually point out how they can get more rewards and things like that and help the creator at the same time, that'd be amazing. So, all right, next part, which is a very, very, very festive one. It's time to celebrate the holidays with the holiday event part 1 of 2024. You can see a cool little picture of the featured Pokemons. When is this happening? Tuesday, December 17th at 10 a.m. to Sunday, December 22nd at 9:59 p.m. a.m. local time, so right before 10 o'clock. Man, I can't believe this year's almost over. Holy shit. And then bonuses. We have 2 times experience for catching Pokemons and half hash distance for eggs placed in incubators throughout the event. So this is a really nice part of the event if you're looking to just gain a lot of experience and all that. So
yeah, all my incubators are going to be gone already.
Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, Pokemon debut. We have the Data wearing the holiday attire, and if you're lucky, you might encounter a shiny one. So they're kind of straying away from Pikachu. That's pretty cool, but don't actually come hang out just yet. Wild encounters. We have the next few Pokemons to be part of the wild spawns. However, a brand new shiny Pokemon is being introduced in this game, and that is shiny Sandygast. Really? Why Sandygast now? He's a ghost type. He shouldn't have been released a little bit earlier than that.
Yeah, that is a weird holiday Pokemon, huh?
Don't we still have a couple of ice types that could be shiny at this point? Yeah.
Well, the ones I'm thinking of are really new. Like Citadel came first to mind.
Yeah, that was my first one, my first guess too. I don't know why they decided for this. I guess I mean, if they're really going with Florida's weather, I mean, that'd be nice. because
Introduce Snom. Yeah.
actually, that would have been amazing. I would not be. I would be happy about that one. But yeah, so the wild spawns, a lot of Sandra, a lot of Diglets, Swineup. Delibird wearing a holiday ribbon, which is Adam's favorite Pokemon, so I'm sure she'll be looking for that. Nobbles, Novern, Darumaka, which is interesting that it's not a Lowland, or I'm sorry, Galarian Darumaka, just because it's a size type. Lidleo, Burmite, and Sandygast. All of this can be a shiny Pokemon in the wild, so that's nice. 1-star rates will have Pikachu wearing the Winter Carnival outfit, so it is returning. Psyduck wearing a holiday attire, the Dana wearing his holiday attire, and Sandygast. We got a couple of targets there, if you're thinking of. And since we have 2 free raid passes for this season, that will be pretty nice if you actually get to do them. 3-star race, we have Stanler wearing the holiday outfit, Glacian wearing this Undersea holiday outfit, and Cryogonal. I'm not worried about the Glacian, just because I already have one. And for our Mega Rage, which is also our legendary race for this rotation, Mega Latias and Mega Latios.
Good variety.
Yeah, definitely.
I know a lot of them are costumes, but you know what I mean.
yeah, but it is how it is. X, we have Hisu and Growlithe, Pikachu wearing with a Summer Flare. Geez, they're really going with the Florida team in this one. Spheal wearing the holiday scarf, Capchu wearing a holiday ribbon, Amora, and Charcadet.
Charcadet in 7 kilometers. Okay.
It is
That's
an interesting,
weird.
yeah, it is an interesting one, especially since there's 10Ks and everything for that. But hey, I mean, it's not a bad pool, and it's mostly gotta be this pool for the entire event, so that's not bad.
Interesting. Yeah.
Field research stats, of course, will be available throughout the event with event team Pokemons. Pay time research, $2 or equivalent to your current currency to include some extra rewards like 2 premium battle passes, 1 incubator, 1,500 Stardust, and encounters with event team Pokemon. Not too bad. I guess
think it's an easy buy, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, the premium battle passes alone is already the addition to that. So
yeah, because I just like that extra chance of getting something. I don't know if it's in there, but like something like the holiday attire Psyduck.
Yeah, something like that in the end of the day. Collection challenges, of course, will allow you to collect things like Stardust, Pokeballs, and Great Balls. Pokeball showcases, and then the web store will have its nice little Ultra Holiday box for $4.99. Will net you 1 Pokemon storage upgrade, 1 item bag upgrade, and 17 rare candies. Limited to 1 person per user. So, only 1 time. And then for $6.99 or equivalent, the Holiday Part 1 Ultra Ticket Box will include the tickets for the Holiday Part 1 and Part 2 events, and a bonus premium battle pass with no additional cost. Honestly, that's not bad, especially because the $5 to upgrade both your storages and things like that it's always a plus, especially since I've been running out of storage pretty quickly in the last few days. So, but then, everything else, it's out there for that reason. Any thoughts of this, Chris? Very first event of December, really good event of December.
Yeah, I'm always a big costume shiny guy. So part 1 looks really cool. And I love that Sandygast is in the wild. Let's hope it's not like rare. So yeah, weird shiny to put in, but I think there's definitely a lot to chase.
There's actually been a lot of weird customs too. I mean, I can understand why they need the Pichu with the summer attire at this point.
Yeah, that is a weird one to kind of throw in.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like they have a Santa hat Pichu, so it is kind of funny.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. But of course, once we get closer to that date of the event, we'll definitely give a more full-on thoughts, which is basically 2 weeks or something. So I guess they're giving us all the news now, which is nice. All right, Chris, how about you let us know what the store for Community Day?
Yeah, a little bit of a recap in other words. We're going to have Pokemon from all the community days in 2024, as per usual. At the end of the year, Catchathon celebration. What? December Community Day. If you guys are not aware, they have all the community days for the year, and usually last year, to kind of evolve and get their community day moves, or just try to get some shinies that you missed out on.
Yeah.
So Saturday, December 21st, and Sunday, December 22nd, from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. local time is going to be when they have boosted shiny odds. Sometimes they spawn around that too, but keep your eyes out, especially in between 2 and 5. The event bonuses: 2 times XP for catching Pokemon, 2 times Stardust for catching Pokemon, half egg distance when placed in incubators during the event period, 2 times candy for catching Pokemon, 2 times chance for trainers level 31 and up to get a candy extra large from catching Pokemon. Lure modules activated during the event will last for 3 hours. Incense, except the daily adventure incense, will last for 3 hours. 1 additional special trade can be made for a maximum of 2 per day, and that's going to be both days. And then trades made during the event will require 50% less Stardust. Something to keep in mind, especially since it's on 2 different days. Most bonuses are going to be active from 2 to 5, but the ones that have to do with trading will be active from 9 to 9, so 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So I would say definitely, trade whatever you need to both days, depending on we're going to talk about if there's any that you need to evolve on a certain day in a second.
Yep.
So featured Pokemon. There's going to be different Pokemon both days. I don't know. Maybe you can evolve them both days, but let's figure that out together. The following Pokemon are going to be available on Saturday, the 21st. Bellsprout, Chansey, Goomy, Rowlet, Litten, and Bounsweet. I find it so funny they put the little shiny symbol next to it like they didn't all already have community days.
Right.
And then the following Pokemon are going to be featured on Sunday, December 22nd. Mankey, Ponyta, Galarian Ponyta, Sewaddle, Tynamo, and Popplio. And then these are going to be the more interesting ones. Lucky trainers might encounter the following Pokemon on either day. For the last 10 minutes of each hour between 2 and 5 p.m. local time, so 2:50, 3:50, and so on, trainers can catch an opportunity to encounter these Pokemon. Porygon, Cyndaquil, Bagon, and Beldum. I'm going to be hunting that Beldum like crazy. Eggs. The following Pokemon from the following Pokemon highlighted in 2023 Community Days events will hatch from 2 kilometer eggs. So yeah, get out there, get hatching. Slowpoke, Galarian Slowpoke, Poliwag, Togepi, Wooper, Paldean Wooper, Timber, Axew, Chespin, Fennekin, Froakie, Grubbin, Noibat, and guess what? They can all be shiny. What? Who would have guessed?
I know, right?
The featured attacks. So yeah, I guess you can evolve them both days from what I'm seeing.
Yeah. So real quick, when we go over some of those special evolution Pokemons, because it is possible when it comes down to it. Just for the looks of it, looks like some of the requirements are being taken off. Like, let's say Galarian Slowpoke or things like that, because it says once you evolve it, you get to know those moves specifically. Let's go to an LEA.
Oh, just like it was on the community day?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow, that is a long list of moves.
That is, and mostly because they're highlighting most of 2024's Pokemons, but of course the classics too. Some of them are also par from, I think, 2023, but like Clocksire, that was 2023 when it comes down to it. So, so each of the Pokemon featured there will know their special moves. If you really want to know the list, I would suggest actually going to the website. They don't mention anything about special conditions. So So would it just be a straight up evolution for all of them, or do you really have to do something now? We'll technically won't know until the day off in the end of the day. So.
Yeah, I would hope that it's the same way that it was on the community day that they were featured, but don't go into it expecting that. Just hope for that.
You could also prepare for this if you actually are waiting for this event to technically roll around. If you have a Pokemon that it's already primed for evolution and things like that, just go ahead and do them before that happens. Just in case you don't have to, like, do as many battles with Ghost Type or an LA or something like that, or catch or raid many of the ones for Galarian Slowpoke or things like that in the end of the day. So make sure you prime them right before then, and then don't evolve them until you get to the day off in the end of the day. So,
I agree. Yeah. Hopefully they got a plan set forth to make it easy like they did before. But I don't like to assume things, especially when it comes to Niantic.
Yeah. All right. Well, continue on.
Yeah. There's going to be a timed research. Probably to catch, pretty much every Pokemon. But one of the more important ones is you can complete tasks to earn a Rainy Lure module and and Unova Stones. So you need the Rainy Lure module to evolve Goomy all the way to Goodra. So if you need that, or if you just want an extra one, keep your eye out for that.
Yeah.
And it's going to be available from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. the following day, Sunday, December 22nd at 9 p.m. So, yeah, get it sooner than later, especially if you're planning on using it that day.
Yeah. I mean, premium items is never a bad thing.
Oh, yeah, no, free is good.
Yeah.
Community Day continued timed research. So for December Community Day 2024, if you log in between the playtime of 9 to 9, you'll receive a local time. Well, you'll receive timed research awarding daily encounters with Community Day Pokemon from 2024 with special background. Okay. Yeah, they know we like backgrounds.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay,
I was surprised about what they were doing with this one. It's always a plus, so it will be more of the rarer chase. Just because the special background, it technically is something that a lot of people want. If you get all, the trifecta, the Shando, the special background and things like that, special community they move or things like that, that's just like on top of a cherry on top. So, also, the X, thank you for joining us. It's been a long time. But yeah, finish up there.
Yeah, there's also going to be field research with a bunch of the Pokemon from previous community days in 2024. And it says, team up with your community and you may find rare field research leading to encounters with these featured Pokemon with special backgrounds if you're lucky. So just like it was for Squirtle Squad, it won't be shiny for everyone according to this, but they will all have special backgrounds if it is the correct stop. So definitely call it out to your buddies.
Yeah, I actually like this because one, they're not just locking it through the time research. And two, it's something that the community can band together to make sure they can find the special rare stops.
Dude, I get hyped all the time for the encounter quests. So let's hope this is like a majority of the stops for encounters. Then
they did say rare. The problem is how rare.
yeah. Is it a 1 in 10?
Yeah.
1 in 100? Like,
yeah, I know, right? It's like, just imagine. In the end of the day, this kind of feels like a more compact community day, just because if you really want to get those special backgrounds, if you really want to try to get to their shiny Strandos and all that,
certain Pokemon,
yeah. So that's a pretty good addition to that. I think it's not groundbreaking to community day, but it is actually something that a lot of people will definitely be hunting for and banding the community together for that. So
that's true. They obviously are throwing a bunch of stickers in there. They're all cute. There's going to be a ton of showcases, so get your extra large Pokemon. And if you're looking for community, check Campfire and find the meetups. But they just talk about the backgrounds a little bit more. and there's also a special research for December. This is one of the more interesting ones because you get the chance to encounter a lot more Pokemon. I feel like for this special research.
Yeah.
So it's going to be available to purchase. I don't see the amount at the top up here.
It is in the middle of it, yeah.
Yeah. It's going to reward you with a Rocket Radar, an Elite Charge TM, an Elite Fast TM, encounters with Pokemon featured from previous Community Days and Community Day Classics in 2024 with a special background. Okay. They're dragging me in.
Yeah.
And more. For $4.99 or the equivalent pricing, you'll have access to all that jazz, which with the special background, it really depends how much value you put on that. But it's looking a little appetizing.
It is. I mean, I'm actually glad that they are adding this to the field. I mean, yes, you can buy yourself to actually get a little bit more. Yes, there's more rare stops so you can find them. Yes, there is time research for things. So there's almost everything for anything, aside from the wild spawns, which I know they won't get special backgrounds that easily. But still, they're amping up this special background part of things.
Yeah, I mean, the way I look at it, you're guaranteeing you're getting at least one more encounter, because I think you might get one encounter with each for the regular events. But you're guaranteeing you at least get a free. You're guaranteeing you get a second encounter with them, right?
Yeah,
so
which is not bad.
I think that's interesting.
And those will be nice and neat for trade fodder in the end of the day. So basically, make sure you keep them if you can, of course. I mean, I'm not saying they keep them all because we don't have infinite storage, but it's always good to know to keep an eye on that. Just the last few things, just to speed through this blog post because it is a little bit long here and there, and we're kind of running out of time. There is a Ultra Community Day box that you can purchase on the web store for $4.99, which will also give you 5 rare candies and the special research story tickets. So if you're gonna buy the special research story for those special backgrounds, go to the web store, get that little extra, and it's technically the same price with the little added bonus. And then it says here to keep the celebration celebrating Catch-a-thon going with the new time research. Is this the same thing, or am I just thinking about it?
That is weird. Yeah, I think they just accidentally copy pasted.
Oh, Niantic Cat, you gotta love it. Yeah, it's just literally the same thing. Anyways, but yeah, I'm a little excited now that this kind of special backgrounds are being part of it. I think that adds to the chase from what it was already something that you technically play throughout the year at the end of the day. So it's funny that at one point you think it's like, it's just a recap. I already got all these shinies. I already got all these Pokemon. So really, it's like background. So it allows it to expand to what was already something mundane. Just because we knew that this kind of event was coming up. Is it like, am I going to go out of my way to try to get every single background possible and all the rare stops? Probably not. It's like, if it's out of my way, I'll probably do it. If not, then I'm just like, oh, well, it is how it is. It's kind of one of those things that you want to do, but at the same time, I was like, I already have all of this. There's really a reason for me to get a one with special background at this point. So, any last thoughts here, Chris?
Definitely a little fun addition. I think it makes it a little bit more spicy, especially since we have already played through these community days. But yeah, get out, have fun. If anything, just let the Go Plus go so you can grab a little bit extra.
Yeah, that'd be nice. All right, so that's pretty much it on the news. I did wanted to add something to what we already kind of think. That's just my own thoughts, but actually, I'm gonna let this part of what I was thinking, which I want to do a small little state of the game since we're almost at the end of the year. But that's because I just want to talk about a few things that have been on my mind. However, I will actually postpone this talk into next podcast. One, because we actually run out of time. And then two, I feel like by next week we should have lighter news, aside from probably Holiday Part 2, depending on how they look at us. but yeah, I'll talk about this a little closer to the end of the year, just because I want to get a feel from it. I'll make a Twitter post if possible, and I'll try to amplify it for anybody to want to see it, so that way we have a little extra time to kind of get our thoughts to it. But let's quickly get through our PvP section. Get good, get wrecked. Here we go, Chris. And this is also part of that. So, but since we are here already, how about GPL? Have you actually done any GPL since the season started?
Not really. This season. Plus, I kind of stopped dead in my tracks last season after getting a pretty good start. But yeah, I just haven't been in the mood to do it as much as I have been like the card game.
Yeah, no, I know, right? It's like this is your bucket has been taken over my life. I'm missing the Butterfree so I can get the Mew. Even with the promo, I can't get it. So, but yeah, it's GBL. I feel like I won't talk too much into my details on GBL right now, because I feel like we also need a little more information on this. It feels like the state of the game has been kind of changing and shifting recently, and hopefully we're not forgetting what has already transpired in the game. So real quick, we will mention that we did have another regionals a couple of weekends ago, when we had the full-on release of the information from the season. Also, Niantic Cat is having its finest, because the webs or the homepage of Pokemon Go Live hasn't really updated to the new season. They're still on the max thing seasons and stuff, and I'm just like, when is this gonna happen? But we did have another European regionals happening in Stuttgart, and surprisingly enough, I completely forgot to actually talk who it was the one who won that. So give me a second here. But yeah, so PvP David07 did win the Stuttgart regionals in the European region. So congratulations to him. Hope to see him in Competitors to Worlds pretty soon. But of course, that's another 8 months from here on out. So make sure you keep an eye on them. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I really don't have too much. Again, I feel like we can probably talk about all this once next week comes around, or maybe by the end of the year. You never know. All right. With that being said, Chris, you have anything else to cover? Anything else that we have missed? Is Niantic playing with my heart again before we end the podcast?
I would just say congrats to the winner, because I know EU is like very stacked. But I mean, you can argue that about a lot of places, but I do know that one's a rough one. So yeah, definitely congrats on that.
Yes, definitely. All right. With that being said, thank you so much for everybody for listening to the podcast. Thank you so much for anybody who actually comes to the stream. We really appreciate it. If you want to find us anywhere else, of course, make sure to check our social media. Pure Let It Go, Purified Podcast, and Pokemon Trigger, please. I think at this point, I don't know if I actually should say the same thing. That's PKMM Trigger, please, with the C at the end. Anyways, make sure you follow us on any of the podcast services feeds, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Music. I'm getting better at that. If you can leave us a review, we would greatly appreciate it. It helps a lot. purifiedpodcast@gmail.com if you want to send us anything through the emails. We're always looking for anybody wanting to talk to anything about us. And then, of course, we do have our regular Discord. However, make sure that you are going to the Patreon to get our exclusive Discord with the Pokemon First Network. You'll find us there through other means if you really want to talk to us anyways. And don't forget to check us out at thepurepodcast.com, the Professor Network. With that being said, before I actually end it, Chris, how about you take us away for the night?
All right. But yeah, I hope you guys all had a fabulous week. I think I speak for both of us when I say we are hyped for the holiday season of Pokemon Go. So yeah, get out there, get catching, make some space. If you don't got room, I'm talking to myself. And yeah, we'll catch you guys next week, where hopefully we got a bunch of more exciting news for you. And yeah, catch you guys next week while we get ready for the new year. Peace out, guys.
Keep purifying them, everybody. We'll see you guys next time.